I woke up to the sound of shattering glass. It wasn't the kind of sound you mistake for a dream, sharp, real and final. My heart jumped as I shot up in bed. Sarah was already awake, sitting upright beside me, her hand clutched over her mouth. "David, someone's in the house," she whispered, her voice trembling. That sentence alone was enough to jolt me into motion. I grabbed the baseball bat from beside the nightstand, my pulse pounding in my ears, and crept toward the bedroom door. The hallway light flickered on as I reached the living room. Drawers were open. Cushions were scattered. Our wedding photo lay face down on the floor, the glass cracked through the middle, right between our smiling faces. My stomach dropped. "Sarah, stay in the room," I called back, stepping slowly into the mess. "I'll check." But before I could finish, she screamed. I sprinted back into the room to find her standing beside the closet, pointing at the jewelry box on the floor. "My rings, my necklace, they're gone," she cried. "David, we've been robbed." I felt a rush of anger and helplessness wash over me. We called the police, who arrived within minutes. They asked questions, dusted for prints, and took photos of the chaos. It wasn't until the officer asked if I suspected anyone that Sarah's demeanor changed. Her voice was hesitant, quiet. Maybe it's Mark." I turned to her, confused. "Mark? My best friend Mark." She avoided my gaze. "He was here last week, remember? You two were in the garage fixing the shelves. I saw him looking at my jewelry box when he went inside to grab a drink." I frowned. "Sarah, come on. Mark would never." "I didn't want to say anything," she interrupted, her eyes glassy. "But he's been acting strange lately. Texting you late at night. Asking when you're not home. I don't know, David. I got a bad feeling." Her voice cracked as she said it, and something inside me twisted. Because Mark had been distant lately. Canceling plans, showing up late to work, avoiding eye contact. I'd chalked it up to stress, but suddenly, her words started weaving a darker picture. Still, accusing him felt wrong. Mark wasn't just my best friend, he was like a brother. We'd grown up together, shared dorm rooms, helped each other through breakups. He was my best man at our wedding. But that night, as I lay awake staring at the ceiling, doubt crept in like poison. 2 days later, the police found something: fingerprints. "Partial prints on the drawer handle," the officer said. "Matches someone in our system, Mark Harris." My stomach dropped. "You're sure?" The officer nodded. "You said he's your friend?" I felt my world tilt. When I confronted Mark, he looked genuinely blindsided. We met at a small diner near my office, and I barely let him sit before blurting it out. "Why the hell are your fingerprints in my house, Mark?" He blinked. "What? What are you talking about?" "The police found them. On the drawer that was robbed." "David, I haven't been to your place since last week." "Exactly. And that's when Sarah said you were acting weird." His eyes widened. "Sarah said that?" I nodded, my jaw tight. He ran a hand through his hair, laughing bitterly. "You're kidding me. You really think I'd steal from you? After everything?" I wanted to say no. I wanted to believe him. But the evidence felt damning. "Just tell me the truth," I said quietly. "If you needed money, I would have helped." Mark slammed his fist against the table, startling the waitress. "I didn't steal from you, David. I swear to God I didn't." His voice cracked with desperation, but all I could see were those fingerprints. I left the diner without saying another word. Weeks passed. The police never recovered the stolen jewelry. The case was quietly dropped after insufficient evidence for prosecution, but the damage was done. Mark stopped calling. He left our company. Mutual friends avoided choosing sides, but I could feel their judgment. Sarah, meanwhile, seemed relieved. She'd hold me at night, whispering, "It's better this way, baby." He was never really your friend. And for a while I believed her. Until small cracks started appearing in her story. One afternoon, while I was organizing the garage, I found the lockbox where I kept our insurance papers slightly open. Inside was a jewelry receipt, dated 2 days before the robbery. It listed the exact same necklace and ring Sarah had claimed were stolen. My heart pounded. Why would she have bought the same items right before they disappeared? That night I confronted her. "Sarah, what is this?" I held up the receipt. Her eyes flickered with panic before softening into a practiced look of confusion. "Oh, that? I ordered replacements." I told you, remember? I thought they'd never find the originals. I stared at her. You ordered replacements before the police even said the originals were gone. She hesitated. It was just a coincidence. But something in her voice, a quiver, a pause, didn't sit right. That night I couldn't sleep. I got up around 2 a.m. and went to the guest room where Sarah kept some of her old clothes. I don't even know what I was looking for. Just a gut feeling pulling me toward the closet. And then I saw it. Behind a stack of folded blankets sat a small black box. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, were the missing jewels. The same necklace, same rings, same pendant I'd seen countless times before. My breath caught in my throat. I felt the kind of silence that burns your ears, the realization that your entire reality has just been rewritten. The next morning I set my phone to record and asked Sarah to sit down. I found something, I said quietly. In the guest room. Her face drained of color. What are you talking about? The jewelry, Sarah. I slid the box across the table. The one that was stolen. Care to explain? She froze. Her mouth opened then closed. I can explain. Please do. Her hands trembled. I wanted to help you see the truth. The truth. I snapped. That my best friend's a thief? Tears welled up in her eyes. He was trying to take you away from me, David. I saw the messages. The late-night calls. You trust him more than you trust me. I thought if you saw what kind of person he really was. I slammed my fist against the table. So you framed him? You called the cops, planted his prints, and destroyed my friendship, for what? She started sobbing, reaching for me. I did it because I love you. Because you were slipping away, and I couldn't lose you. I stepped back, shaking my head. You didn't love me, Sarah. You loved control. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Just her quiet sobs and my shallow breathing filling the kitchen. Finally I said, I recorded this. The police will hear it. You need help, Sarah, but I can't be part of this anymore. Her face went pale. David, please don't ruin my life. You already ruined mine. 2 months later I met Mark at the same diner. He looked older, somehow tired, but when he saw me his expression softened just a little. I'm sorry, I said immediately. You were right. About everything. He let out a long breath. I figured you'd find out eventually. She confessed, I said quietly. She planted your fingerprints using a glass from that night you came over. Said she just wanted to make me choose her over you. Mark rubbed his temples, shaking his head. Man, that's twisted. I nodded. I let her manipulate me. I should have trusted you. He looked at me for a long moment then sighed. You were in love, Dave. People do dumb things when they're in love. We sat in silence for a while, just two men trying to patch over a wound that had cut too deep. Finally he said, So what now? I stared out the window, the late afternoon sun painting everything gold and bittersweet. Now, I said quietly, I start over. Without lies. Without pretending. Sometimes late at night I still think about that broken photo, the crack splitting right between our faces. Back then I thought it was just shattered glass. Now I know it was prophecy. Because love built on deceit will always break. No matter how tightly you try to hold the pieces together. And when it does, you're left standing in the quiet aftermath, realizing the person who vowed to protect your heart was the one who stole it first.